Hello everyone, my name is Evan, aka Cambrian Man, and this is going to be kind of a vlog, except without my video. I wanted to give the heads up on what I'm working on right now, and here it is. It's called HashZap, aka Zap. And this is an online game that I'm making within HTML5 and Node, as well as a bunch of other things. So you can actually sign in with Twitter or guest. We're going to do guest for now. And if you've seen the ZZT videos I posted, this should look familiar. Yep, it's quite a bit like ZZT. I'm not sure why it's lagging a little bit, but it might just be stuff going on my server or on my computer. So here we go. Basically, a couple months ago, I started playing around with HTML5 and Canvas stuff to see, just to learn how to use it. And one thing I found was I wanted to try to make some ASCII stuff. It was not terribly difficult to do. So this right here is all a canvas that it's rendering. Right? Yep. Nice stuff. Running within Chrome. And so I was like, well, how about we try making it multiplayer? So I made it multiplayer using Node.js. And I could do it right now. I'm not going to do it because I don't have my other computer handy, but yeah, multiple people could connect at one time. Right now this is running off my local machine, but I can run it off of I'm hosting at Heroku. The main reason I don't use that is because A, it's development, and B, there's a little bit of a lag issue. Like right here it's fine, you're not noticing any lag at all, but that's because it's local. Once it goes across the internet, it lags out a lot more. And some of that is due to the fact that Heroku can't work with WebSockets, so we're getting a lot more latency than we could. You know, when you have 100 milliseconds of latency, that's almost twice what I'm using for updates. But regardless, it's still working okay, and I can do some of the stuff with it. So yeah, as I started going, more and more features started getting added. So what this is going to be eventually is basically like an online graphical MUD, if you've played those. Think about it like an online world where you can create your own dungeons, you can create your own areas. There will be public areas as well as private dungeons that will be instanced. And a lot of that stuff is already in there. I just haven't, fully integrated it yet. It's just a matter of prioritizing things. But just like ZZT, we can actually write scripts, right? So we got an object here, right? We can talk to them. If we hit the E key and we have permissions, which we do, I have permissions because right now it's in development, so everything can be edited. We bring up the editing viewport right here. I don't even know what I call it, editing mode. And so right now we can go around, we can place blocks using WASD, all right? Take them away. And one of my big goals here is that rather than being kind of an offline, you make a game, share it with your friends kind of thing, it's an online thing, like Minecraft, where everybody can get together and build areas, build worlds, build dungeons, and then play them together. All right, so everything you're editing is live. If I decide to, add some details to this house here, that stuff everybody else on the board will see, and it will be automatically saved to our database. I don't have a color picker yet, but I can actually switch colors here, so we can check it out, different types of colors we want. Right? Maybe Breakable ones don't work yet. There's another feature I need to add before I add breakable walls. I can put them down. Whoops, I'm hitting the wrong key. I was like, why is it not putting it in the right place? It's because I'm dumb. You'll notice I don't have fake, I have floors instead, if you use the CZT. So yeah, you can walk around editing things. Let's think of this like a little flower pot area. Sorry, I'm gonna. No, I need to fix this because it bugs me. Oh wait, wall. That was the wrong thing. Oh well, whatever. It's not a big deal. So yeah, and the other thing it has is a. It's just that I don't have it. Is a scripting language. So we can actually take a look over here and see the different things we've got. Board, objects, dungeon. Now, I'll get to this in a second, but the dungeon here is essentially an instance, right? So whenever you make a dungeon, you can create it, you can define whatever you want to do, and it's essentially like a game that you can share however you would like to share. And what it means is you can basically say, oh, well, I want this to be like this or like that. You can define it to be a private instance where only one person will get in at a time, basically just be a single player game. You can define it as being multiplayer, however many players you want. You can make it unlimited players, basically as many as the server can hold. And I've tried to take steps towards making it, making that possible, that you can actually run with multiple players. I haven't stress tested it enough to tell if it's actually going to work, but I think it should, provided I can get decent hardware to run it on. And this board is obviously just my messing around test board, right, to see if things work. Your dungeon, you can set trustees and editors, so people can come in and have various amounts of editing permissions, right? So your trustees would be people that you are partners with. They can edit anything, any boards. They can add boards, delete boards. And editors can just come in and build, just like anybody else would. So you can have people working on your project to kind of make a collaborative area. And they don't have to be games. You could make it like a town where everybody builds their own little house. You could build competitive areas. My goal is to basically allow you to build a lot of different things. So if you check out over here, when you make a board, you can freeze it, and then everybody else gets that instance. Now, one thing that's going to happen is that when you're in your own dungeon and you hit E, you start live editing it, but everybody else will get the last frozen version, if there is one. Basically, it's like a save state, and that's the one that everybody gets until you decide to update it, right? Because everybody's not going to be seeing blocks appear randomly. That would be kind of a dick move. Yeah. And items will be like an inventory item. They will be, again, dungeon specific, so that you are free to do whatever you feel like within your own dungeon. I may make it add in some kind of capability. Actually, I may make some kind of capability to allow you to share objects between dungeons. That way you can interact between boards, between different players' dungeons and different dungeons within a series. And what I mean is, like, there's no keys. A lot of things that are built into ZZT are not in Zap. So there wouldn't be any keys. Instead, you'd have items. And if you want a yellow key, you make an item called a yellow key. And since dungeons are temporary instances, you can use those to kind of bring back, right? So you come back in, you're like, oh, you have the portal of teleportation, or the thing of teleportation. Well, now you can teleport to this area or that area. Yeah. So you can see here we have objects. They work pretty much like they do in ZZT. we can show all of the objects on the board right now. We got test, guard, Bob. Check out test here. And you have an integrated editor. I have the syntax highlighting working. It's not totally working, so I want to do more with it. And one thing I also want to do is to, over on this side, right, help will go here, have stuff basically live change as you type it. So not only autocomplete, but to also suggest it. So like if I start typing C, right, it'll show me on the right hand side over here all the different commands that start with C, right? As well as general help, right? If I'm typing in a text line right here, it'll show me over here information about text. Hopefully, I really want to make it so that anybody can come in and start making their own stuff, right? So I'm trying to keep the syntax here is actually very, very similar to ZZT, but it's got a lot more power. It's a far more complex language if you want to get complex. You don't have to, though, right? Stuff like this is pretty simple, right? Check health. We actually wouldn't really do something like that. We'd probably do something like this, right? This is the this little thingy here is the origin, and that's how you control which messages go to where. I'll get into the language later. I've been adding a lot of features to that, and rewrote the whole parsing engine so I can do a lot more as far as code hints and live, showing you different parts of things over here. I didn't rewrite it, rather I changed it to be a generated parser rather than me having to do it. So there you go. I'm going to keep, I think, ASCII art as being the only way to have the only art within the game, so that you have to use the ASCII character set. Because one thing that I want to do is I actually want to de-emphasize art, in the sense that I don't want you to feel like you have to be an artist in order to make a dungeon. I want you to feel like as long as you think it kind of looks good, it'll be fine. And being limited with the kinds of art you can do, 256 characters, that I think will help a lot. Reducing the intimidation factor. My goal here in general is to reduce intimidation. And I might change this to be a lot more, kind of friendly looking, but I don't know. I kind of like the serious looking style right there. Along those lines, I may, however, have color. Actually, I'm pretty sure I will have custom color palettes, because I think that if you have 14 colors plus black and white, that's actually a lot of colors. It forces you to choose a color scheme, but maybe I can integrate some stuff like if you've ever used Adobe Color, maybe stuff like that where it suggests particular color schemes, and maybe you can share them, right? One of my other things I'm going to try to do is to really let you share things like share templates, which are how you can copy objects between each other. It's one of the code reuse methods here. Templates and mixins are the two things, and I'll get into them some other time. But basically, I want it to be so that anybody can share things between each other, right? So if you're a complete new player, you just go in and you start doing stuff with like grabbing other people's monsters, behaviors, things that they have, and putting them into your game, and then you can edit them, right? Because everything should be basically open to be edited. If you share it, it's open to be edited. Everybody can make their own copy of it. There's no like secrets as far as how you do things. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of why I haven't been updating a lot of YouTube. And some of you guys are probably coming here from Google Plus or Twitter or something, and have been wondering what I'm talking about with Zap, how things are, what I'm doing, and that's kind of it. I'll take a look at the door here. See, very much like ZZT, a few differences. Yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted next time. I'm probably going to be showing more in depth about the language Maybe even do a little tutorial about how to do it for those of you who are completely new, which is everybody, but some people are used to ZTube. And I think it might be interesting to see the differences between the two languages. All right, well, see you guys later.